This looked like the perfect Italy game until everything went wrong. Could I still make a comeback and for the European Union? Let's find out. I started with the usual research setup, but instead of infantry for the early game, I decided to use tanks. After checking if I had any good leaders, I put improve infrastructure and ignore safety regulations. Then, one of every factory. Got rid of previously used policies and put advanced research bureau. This bunker buster leader was really good. After buying the necessary resources, I attacked San Marino, followed by Monaco. I mountain specialized my troops and then continued to expand my industry. After annexing Liechtenstein, I started justifying on Austria and Slovenia. My eyes were set on Germany, maximum military and government spending. America accepted my trades for consumer goods and that was my main source of income for some time. Maximum research and education spending. After running over Slovenia, I started making some tanks for my future war, maneuver warfare. I attacked Austria and started justifying on Hungary. Hungary was allied to both Germany and France, which were my main targets at that moment, so with only one war I could defeat my main threats. I also mountain specialized my tanks. In early March, I declared on Hungary. I quickly took Budapest and auto-captured the rest of Hungary. Luckily, Germany and France gave no response to my attack. After Hungary was basically defeated, I launched my tanks to Prague. I gave up Prague and took a small city in the north, and the entire German army rushed me and lost. Now only France remained the true enemy. I brought to the fight the rest of my tanks. After the fall of Berlin, I started auto-capturing Germany. Mid-November, Germany capitulated and I annexed him. I had two options: to wait and reinforce its spring before attacking France or to attack right now. I did both, waited for my tanks to reinforce and used my attackers to destroy his troops. Then in late January I launched an attack on Paris. I also attacked Poland with my infantry. Once Paris fell, I auto-captured France, the first development of my city's nationalism. Soon France collapsed. Next I set my sights on Croatia and Bosnia, looking to expand into the Balkans. After Poland, I took Switzerland. I annexed Hungary, but I didn't realize that one city was actually Ukrainian and I didn't get it. I brought my tanks to Croatia. At that time I also started researching infantry, but then Russia justified on me. That was really bad. I had under 100k infantry and 1k tanks, and since I had unrest in most of my occupied territories, I could only spawn troops far from the front line. I saw Russia had attackers, so I started spamming some fighters. I annexed Switzerland and brought my infantry near the front line with Russia. After annexing Bosnia and Croatia, I set my eyes on Malta because we all know how powerful small countries can be if they have enough time to prepare. Now, when I'm looking at the recording, I see that I didn't take Russia seriously at all by continuing to attack Serbia, Bulgaria and then Malta. In mid-June, I finished the campaigns in the Balkans and continued my offensive on Malta. One more development: propaganda only press regulation. Malta collapsed. I spawned some infantry in France. Only in late April 2023, 1.5 years after Russia justified, he started moving troops to my border. And in early June, Russia declared. I had 1 million troops already, so I could defend. He tried a huge attack with over 1 million troops in Warsaw, but his troops were horrible. He launched his entire army on Warsaw and he lost. It was my time to attack, so I went into Minsk. My goal was to get to his capital before the winter. And I did, but I stopped a few cities before Moscow. With 7k tanks, he tried to defeat my entrenched, steady client's Kalemoji troops. He lost, of course. He had over 2 million losses, while I had under 250k. China joined the war against me, but he didn't send any troops. I started a limited offensive on the southern part of the front in Romania. Once the Russian winter ended, I launched an attack on Moscow. He was spamming tanks like crazy, and while he was focused with his capital, I auto-captured with the tanks in Minsk. China left the war. Not only didn't he spam with tanks, but he also spammed with infantry and he had almost 3 million in Moscow, so my offensive failed. My main problem was the manpower. Fascism. He started his own push. The enormous attack pushed me back. I lost Poland, parts of Germany, Romania and most of the Balkans, but I did manage to stabilize the front. My worry was the 3.4 million troop stack that was already in Austria. In the south, the situation was not so bright. We managed to land in my country. Luckily, I stopped their attack, but with the price of my entire south. The situation became even worse when the United Kingdom declared on me. On the Eastern Front, I started a counterattack. His 3 million stack was crossing the Alps, and that was the last barrier between him and Rome. Somehow, till he got to Rome, I mostly destroyed the stack and I saved my capital. Finally, the situation was going a little better. I was pushing UK from the lowlands. On the Eastern Front, his attacks were small. In late November, he started another push. This time I had enough manpower to defend, and the imminent problem became UK. He tried a major landing, but I defended. Russia was on the verge of collapse and UK wasn't doing any better. I did a landing in UK, and then in late summer 2026, the final push into Russia. Once the war with Russia and UK was almost over, I started attacking against more countries near me, like Bulgaria and Morocco. Late November, I annexed UK, and if you are wondering that the hard part was already done, another war, much deadlier, was right around the corner. But for now, let's enjoy the victory. I was attacking a lot because I wanted to form the European Union. Now let's analyze the situation. On all fronts I was safe, no one could have attacked me except from the south. There was a big empire that set his eyes on my African lands. My eyes were on Antarctica, who had Egypt and looked really strong, but another guy set his eyes on me. I was a few months away from forming, but the Democratic Republic of Congo had other plans, and on 2 December 2030 he declared on me. At first, I thought that it would be an easy victory since I had 3 times more troops than him. I started a limited attack. Our troops were comparable in strength. There was another threat, Antarctica, that looked much stronger than me and also had a much superior navy. That's why I also started building a navy. I launched an attack with 1.5 million troops from Morocco, and then he started sending bombers. I rushed to spawn some anti-aircraft, but it was too late. Rome survived the first wave since it was small, and I also had a carrier in the region. In South Africa joined the war. He pushed me back in the Middle East and also in Iberia, but I managed to get deep into his territories with my attack from Morocco. Soon, most of my African land got captured. I also started getting into France, but those attacks were small. Antarctica declared on me. I quickly moved my capital to Geneva because Antarctica had nukes and I was sure his first target would be Rome. He had more troops, a larger navy, and it seemed that I was doomed, but I still had enough money, manpower and stability to continue the war. I started a counterattack in the Middle East. I managed to land in Antarctica in a city with a silo with 500k troops. If you are wondering what were my troops doing there, I was planning to attack him if Democratic Republic of Congo didn't declare on me. There was also an attack in Greece from Congo. In June, Congo reached out for a second time with a peace deal that required me to give up my African territory. This time I wasn't in a position to decline, so I accepted and focused on Antarctica. I switched to massed attack since I needed the war exhaustion reduction. Congo reached for an alliance and I accepted. Antarctica wasn't doing any offensive actions, so I had time to stabilize my country. South Africa gave me 3 billion. That meant that both Congo and South Africa were now on my side against Antarctica. I now got on the offensive in the Middle East, advancing slowly. I had a plan, you'll see in a bit. With the money I got from South Africa and my manpower, I started rebuilding my army. I also started building a solid navy. Most of my navy got wiped out and Antarctica started a huge push into Congo. That meant my front was empty, so I took advantage of this and launched my very own first major offensive of the war. He brought some troops back and defended, but my plan was in motion. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Videos like this take ages to make, so I'd really appreciate your support. And let me know in the comments which country I should play next. I lured a large part of his navy to the other side of the Suez Canal, then closed it, giving me a naval dominance in the Mediterranean, and his carrier was left poorly protected. Soon Antarctica wiped peace and left. He needed to leave or he was overwhelmed. Either way, I take it as a victory. Now I could finally form in peace. Or not. Congo had one city I needed, but through diplomacy I gained that city, finally formed in late 2035 and obtained the skin pack. Let's go. I stayed on the server a little longer to rebuild my country, but the goal was achieved. This run was very complex and we can draw a lot of conclusions from it, but the main conclusions are: never give up, small countries can become dangerous like Antarctica did, and never go on the offensive without a way to cover your front. That was the mistake both Russia made in the war against me and I made in the war against Congo.